So what do you do? Like, actually, the last thing that I'll talk about, like the whole boundary, how to handle the situation. Just stop talking to them, like I did with my cousin.
Like me with that girl.
You with that girl, just end the relationship. It's so the freedom. It feels so good. So liberating.
I know.
The best thing, like, you know what? I'm out. See ya. And you don't have to deal with them.
I'm Veronique.
And I'm Silvia.
Welcome to the High Vibes on the Mic podcast,
where multicultural moms connect. Hi everyone, welcome back to High Vibes on a Mic. I'm Silvia and I'm here with Veronique. How are you, Veronique?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Yes, and today's episode we're going to talk about boundaries and when to know someone is crossing your boundaries and what to do about it. I think it's going to be interesting. So, Veronique, do you want to start? Or should I give maybe the signs of... I can give the signs of when someone is violating your boundaries so that we are aware of what it is.
Yeah, sometimes you could be confused, don't really know if that's it or not. So yeah, maybe let's define it first.
Yeah. So one of the 5 signs, I would say, that show someone is crossing or violating your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is when you feel uncomfortable or uneasy around someone. Like that gut feeling that like, I just can't relax, can't be myself. I think that would be like a good sign that there's some boundaries crossing there. Second sign, feeling drained and exhausted after interacting with someone. And that's almost like someone like sucking your energy, right? They violate your space in different ways. It's almost like your spiritual space being violated. Right? That you're just like, I don't want to be around that person that much. I don't want to hear the conversation, and they keep on talking. And yes, then you're going to feel drained and exhausted. Number 3, feeling pressure to do something you don't want to do. Usually that's done through manipulation, like those very manipulative people that like they find ways for you to say yes and you don't know how to say no because you don't want to, create any weird situation. So they get what they want, and guess what? They're crossing your boundaries. They're walking into your territory, so to speak. Number 4, feeling angry and frustrated after being around someone. That happened to me so many times. Just getting home, like complaining, bitching about the person. Like, is this, is that? Like, yeah. So that's another sign of boundaries violation. And the last one, the 5th sign, is when someone ignores a request for a long time or for more space. You kind of already like let it very clear that you want space, or you don't want to do, just don't want to do what these people want to do, but they still kind of like insist or pretend you didn't say anything. So those would be the 5 signs of boundaries violations. And now, Veronique, what would be how do you handle a situation, someone crossing your boundaries?
So far, I have to say what you just described is all the people that were in my life 10 years ago. This is unbelievable.
All of them?
All of them. The 5 signs that you just, the one with the exhausting, conversation. I'm the ones I hang up the phone at. I'm telling you, I was dead. I stay on the phone with that friend for like an hour. And that guy just sucked all my energy, but like physically, literally, he sucked all my energy. I think I went and took a nap. I was like, it took all my energy. And I think at the time I didn't know it was a boundary issue. But I think it was normal actually. I'm like, I'm a good friend, I need to listen to people problem. And if they, even if I say no, I don't have time, and they insist, they say they want to talk to me, I have to say yes because I'm a good friend. But at that time I didn't know it was a boundary issue. So I'm very happy we're talking about that right now, because maybe some people they still don't know, right? So my first one would be to lead by example. So you need to show people that you have your own boundaries, that you're setting boundaries for yourself. This way they don't come in your own territory. You need to learn and to know how to say no. I think that's something you don't do in your 20s, maybe not
Mm-hmm.
even 30s. I mean, I wasn't really good at that. But yeah, when you know how to say no, people know that you have boundaries and they won't try to cross yours. And they see that when you establishing your boundaries and you feel very empowered, with your own boundaries, they will know the limit, and they might not
Mm-hmm.
try, to force you to do something you don't want to do. So that's my
Yeah.
first one.
Like for example, if you say, "Hey, no texting or calling after 7 p.m." That's my
Mm-hmm.
boundary. Let's pretend, like
Mm-hmm.
because we're talking to God knows what time. But if like you
Yeah.
just as an example, if you just do it like that, hey, like I don't respond to calls or texts after 7 p.m., so don't even try. It's like a way of just already setting your boundaries, setting your like telling you how you want things to be done.
Yeah.
And if they don't acknowledge that, that's their problem. You're not going to respond or you're not going to do anything. And it works for like personal life and work life as well, right? Like
I
setting
was
up those boundaries for work.
yes. I was going to say exactly. So I was going to
Mm,
say, your boss shouldn't, text to you after 6, 7 p.m. Shouldn't even be
hmm.
you shouldn't be allowed to text you. So yeah, could be
Yeah,
applied for both, definitely.
yeah. So for me, another one would be like communicating right away when you feel like the boundaries are being violated. If you're like, that's ideal, right? But I know
Yeah,
a lot of us don't do it.
it's hard.
It's hard because when I was pressured to say yes to an event that my son was asked to go to, to this trip an hour away and like spend the day in this other place, that I didn't feel comfortable with it. I could have said, first of all, no, without trying to find explanations and excuses. It's just like, no, it's not gonna work for us. Thank you for the invite. But I totally accept the person crossing the boundaries and just being in my space, because I ended up saying yes to that.
Yeah.
And then how to walk away from that? How do you, if I was able to now looking back to say, well, thank you for the invite, but it's not going to work for us. And we, as a family, don't like to go more than 30 minutes, to send our kids more than 30 minutes in someone else's car or something like that. That's the type of boundary that we don't like to cross. Or like sleepovers. I know the sleepover is a thing that a lot of
Mhm.
parents don't like it. I know a few who are not in favor of sleepover at all, but
Yeah.
others love it. They like to do it all the time. So, like, are you gonna try to please the other parents and like, oh yes, okay, even though you don't like it? I'm not a big fan either. Patrick doesn't like it, my husband. But we kind of again, like, I think I learned to learn. I need to learn more about boundaries because again, we just say yes, but I don't feel that comfortable with my kids sleeping over at someone else's house, and I don't feel comfortable having other kids sleeping over because I'm like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
if
Yeah.
they're worried about anything? Like in my mind, I have like my mind is like thinking about all these possibilities. So when you set up boundaries like that, saying right away, my family, we as a family, we don't feel comfortable with that. So thank you for the invite, but we don't do sleepovers or we don't do long trips. We don't let our kids go on long trips without us. That's it. Like they already know they're not gonna be insisting. I hope, and you don't have to deal with the whole like, yes, no, not sure.
I
So,
mean, if you establish the rule right away, I don't think people, will insist. I know a lot of people, they don't like to do the sleepovers, and they're
mm,
not being asked anymore. They were asked at the
yeah,
beginning, and they're not
mm-hmm,
being asked anymore. And like you said, and there are other people, they love their kids to have other kids at
love it
home,
a lot.
to do
Hmm.
sleepovers, and and there's no issue. So I think there's something for everyone. But yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, I don't think people should really insist, on driving your kids far away from you, or having them at home if you don't not comfortable with it. But the thing is,
Yeah,
you're always scared to hurt people's feelings.
yeah, yes,
So
yeah.
if it's not really important, I might say okay, all right. But when it comes to kids, safety and other stuff, I think, yeah, you have to establish your boundaries for sure.
Yeah, if you're feeling uncomfortable, because that's another thing of like the how you're feeling about it,
Yeah.
uneasy and like uncomfortable. sleepovers for me bring me that sense of unease, and I'm not like, whoa, that's so awesome. No, I don't feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's a sign that it's not working for me and for my family, and just say like, you know what? No, it doesn't work. Thank you very much. And I
Yeah.
should. So yeah, that's actually good that we're talking about this. It just made me think about so many yeses that I said. That now I'm more willing to say no next time I'm asked. So
Especially if your
yeah.
husband is also not for it. If you're both on the
Mm-hmm.
same, you know,
Yeah.
if you both on the same, you have all the same uh, idea about it. You agree with it. So I mean, there's no question.
Yeah.
Me, it depends to know with whom. You know, I wouldn't accept if that's my close friends. I don't mind. She already did a lot of sleepovers, but if it's people's like a classmate or you know, I don't really know the parents. I might not feel, you know, I haven't had the occasion to say yes or no to that, thank God. But I
Mm-hmm.
might not feel easy to say yes, you know, if I don't know the parents. So it's a fish. It's really how you feel. Yeah, you have to trust your intuition, definitely. Each
Yeah.
family is on. Yeah, another one also that this one actually I read it somewhere, you know, because like I said earlier, I wouldn't. Sometimes I'm not even aware what you know what boundaries were is. Sorry, is to show people, you know, the way you're taking care of yourself. For instance, like you say, you don't want to someone to text you after 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So if you show people that you like to relax, you like to do activities that bring yourself, you know, joy, relaxation, you can, when you take care of yourself, it show people that, okay, she's busy right now. She's doing something for herself. I need to respect that. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to I'm not going to disturb her because that's the time where when she goes for a walk with the dog, or that's the time, you know, she's taking care of the kids. She's giving a bath, you know, to her kid or something like that. So I'm not going to call her at that time. I have this friend. He's been calling me for a week every night at 8 p.m. Like, dude,
At 8 p.m. every
8
night.
p.m. I think he's trying to call me. He wants to tell me ask me something. And every time I call him back at noon, at lunchtime, I think he's working because I don't even think we're on the same time actually. And he's always calling me either at 8 p.m. That's the time I put my kids to sleep. And then he tries like at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. I don't want to talk at
Oh
10
my
p.m.
goodness. No way.
It's too
10 p.m.
late. So we've been trying we're calling each other for like a week, and we can, you know, we cannot reach each other because he's always calling me at a time that no, not that time, dude. It's not gonna happen.
Especially
So
at 10 p.m. You're gonna talk for an hour. That's like what, 11 p.m. that you're going to
I don't
bed,
know.
maybe.
I don't know what he wants. So yeah, boundaries, please. Don't call me at that time. Send me a
Yeah.
text. Are you crazy?
Yeah. Unless they think you're a stay-at-home mom, because you're stay-at-home mom, you don't do anything, so they're gonna call you throughout the whole day.
Maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
there is that. Like, oh, yeah, I'm sure she's free, not doing anything all day long.
Okay,
Yeah.
call me in the afternoon. Then don't call me at 8 or 9 or 10. Call me in the afternoon or something when I'm
Yeah, and I should
driving.
actually tell some of my friends, like, don't call me even on Saturdays, because Saturdays are one of the
Oh,
craziest days for me with
the
sports and everything.
weekend.
I'm like, it
Yeah.
doesn't work. It has to be around like weekdays in the early afternoon. Let's put it this way, because in the mornings I'm going to the gym. We have like we do other stuff. So yeah, it's just like that tiny window that you have. But it's good to kind of like, hey, I have these things on my schedule, and it's not gonna
And
work. Don't call me at that time.
who's still calling anyway? Why aren't you testing or leave me a message on WhatsApp? Why are you
But
calling?
I miss calling. I miss actually talking to
Oh,
people. You know, like, oh yeah, like there's like you miss
yeah.
the connection that, you know, like talking and face, like, you know, over the phone, but just having a chat. Nowadays everything has is only text. That's it. You don't
Yeah, but
talk to people.
it's so hard to find the time, just especially the time to. For me, would be in the morning. I might have time, you know, between 11 and 1. I have time, you know, to read, especially for people in France. It's late for them. It's already late. So I always tell them, you know, call me from 10 to 1 should be okay. But yeah, the weekend is always crazy. I don't have time to talk on the phone. Unfortunately, in the weekend, maybe just my mom, but that's it. It goes
Yeah,
too, especially with kids. You don't have time, activities or whatever. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's tough. It's tough. And to
Yeah.
try to find a date, even for like if you want to go on, let's example wine tasting. If you want to go wine tasting, like try
Coincidence.
to, yeah, what a coincidence. Try to find a date and time that works for everyone. That's a whole nother drama that like it's like nobody has time for anything nowadays, which
I
is
know,
sad.
right?
It's sad,
I don't know what's going
you know,
on.
because you don't have
I've been
time
trying.
to.
I've been trying to shout out to my friends who are listening right now. I've been trying to do a ladies' night for like 6 months with my other group of friends. Never happened. Never happened. I
Because
don't know why.
nobody is available at the on the
Yeah,
same time or at the same day for the same time. Oh, it's so tough. How
everybody's
could you give
busy.
up?
And you know
Mm,
when everybody's can make it? When you say something like, "Oh, next week." You know, when you don't plan sometime, when you don't plan too far ahead, people are like, "Oh no, I'm not free this weekend." But when something like my friend, she texted us like last week, and she said, "Hey, this weekend San Jose is closing the street and they're doing the bike stuff." Most of the people were free. I was like, "Oh wow, everybody's going, all right," and we didn't have anything that day. But sometimes when
hmm
you try to plan like ahead, I don't
Yeah,
know. People, yeah,
yeah.
people are really busy.
Very, very bad, very busy, which sucks, but oh well.
You are, yeah, we all
Oh
are.
well. Oh
Let's go back
well.
to boundaries, please.
Yeah, going back to boundaries. Let's talk about boundaries. Uh,
Let's complaining about our friend being busy.
so the next, for me, like another way of stop that the trend would be to be around people who actually support you and respect your space. You
Yeah.
know, people that where you don't have to be like, oh gosh, are they gonna? Do I have to say yes to this now? Like everything that we've been talking about, like all the signs. Like if you can avoid those type of people, that would be great, and spend more time with the ones who actually don't do that, who understand like she's like this and like that, and
Hmm.
so I respect her opinion. I'm gonna respect her time. I'm gonna respect. I'm not gonna try to push anything under the throat, you know. So that's definitely it helps. I have to say I'm more around like people who respect my space than not. Thank God, most of
Hmm.
the time. Um, so ideally, it would be 99%. Still not there, but ideally 100%. Maybe someday in
I
heaven.
think,
In heaven, we are
yeah,
dead.
I will say the same. Most of the people around me, they respect my time for sure. I will say also is because maybe most of the people around me have a life. And like you said, they're also
Mm,
busy. So they don't really have time to go in your life and, and yeah, creep into your, into your boundaries and call you when you're not ready or ask you to do something you don't want to do because they have their own life, and if they ask me to do something and I can't, I'm not busy, they're going to move on to the other friend. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, oh, okay,
hmm
she's busy. Let me call somebody else to see if they want to go out or if they want to do something. They're not.
Yeah.
They're like balanced people mentally. You know what I mean?
Uh
Because
huh.
sometimes I think people are crossing boundaries. Something is wrong. Because I had that. Remember that friend? Not the crazy one from the wedding, but another one. It wasn't even crossing boundaries. Something was, I think it was craziness. One day she was like, I remember we're in the bath taking the train, we are going to work. And I told her, oh yeah, we're going to on vacation in July for a month. We're going back to the Caribbean for a month. And she's like, oh, give me the key to your house. I was like, excuse me?
hmm
Mm. I was like, excuse me? Like, yeah, it's not going well with my husband right now. I don't want to stay with him. Can I stay at your house?
Oh my
No, you can't,
God.
bitch. No, you can stay at
No.
my house. Are you
What?
crazy? And after your husband is going to come to my house and you're going to break everything in there when you're fighting each other?
And have sex in your bed? No way, because they're gonna wake up.
Oh, oh. So how is that for crossing boundaries, huh? How is that for crossing boundaries?
Oh
Asking me
yeah.
the keys of my house. I don't know you like that. Are you crazy?
Completely clueless. That's someone who's completely clueless.
But you know what? Move out. Leave your husband. Leave me alone.
It's so insane, but it's just yeah, people who are clueless. So people who have no boundaries, I think they're so selfish, and it's so much about themselves that they don't even realize. Like, do you realize what you're just saying? Like what you're asking? who do you think you are? Like, like, who do you think you
And
are? It's
you
insane.
are the bad person if you say no. You're the bitch
Oh, yes. Yeah,
who
for
said
sure.
no. You can't stay at my house. You have to stay with your husband who's beating your ass. You can't stay at my house.
Mm-hmm.
This is too much asking. I'm sorry. I'm not going to leave you my apartment keys for a month. I don't even know what you're going to do in there. Might
Yeah.
come back, everything is not there anymore. You sold my furniture.
Yeah. Your TV and
Or your husband,
classic.
broke everything in there. No, that
Wow.
was, and this one, oh my God, she really she crossed a lot of boundaries. So, and like I said, at that time, I didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was, crossing boundaries because if I realized, I would have been more, like I said, assertive, learning. To say no. And I got out of that by laughing, pretending it was a joke, right? Because I knew it wasn't a joke. I knew she was for real. And I was like, yeah, right. I move on to another subject. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm like,
geez.
no. And she didn't, thank God she didn't insist. She didn't like, no, no, really, I didn't, no. But
Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
like
if I
my
would have,
cousins, the family who wants to come. Thank God we don't talk anymore over politics. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. The extended family that you're just like, oh, not that fan of. And
mm-hmm,
then they, again, is that they are the type of people who are just, we are thinking about going visit you. Visit you. They just want to come to the US to go shopping those cheap places and bring
oh,
tons of stuff to Brazil,
yeah,
and they want a free place to sleep, to sleep in, like to stay.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And it was awful the first time. That is like a whole episode that we should talk about one day. Like
yes,
how to handle obnoxious relatives, that you just can't get rid of. So you they tried again, and thank God it was during election time. I don't know what it was. I'm like, oh, they cannot come here, please God, no, I don't want them in my house. And something happened, that we stopped talking, me and my cousin. I'm like, yes,
mm-hmm,
now she's not gonna ask, because I have no desire of talking to her again, ever again. And they should never try to come to my place, because her mom, everyone was already like, let's go stay at Sylvia's house, smoking cigarettes, drinking like crazy. I'm like,
it's a hot.
no.
Well, your house
Yeah.
is a hotel. It's your hotel,
Yes, since when it's a hotel? And they
just
say they
coming.
have money. You have money, back, stay at a hotel, like a real hotel, not my house. Like,
Yeah,
man, it's
Airbnb
insane.
next door. This way I can see you, but you're going back to your house.
Yeah,
Smoke in there.
right?
Go smoke in there.
Go
Thank you very
smoke in
much.
there. Have a little bit of space. So there, like that is like, yeah, another example of like. So what do you do? Like actually, the last thing that I'll talk about, like the whole boundary, uh, how to handle the situation. Just stop
Mhm.
talking to them, like I did with my cousin.
Like me with that girl.
You with that girl, just end the relationship. It's
Break
so
that.
the freedom. It feels so good,
Liberating.
so liberating.
I
It's
know.
the best thing, like, you know what? I'm out. See ya. And you don't have to deal with them anymore.
Don't talk to them. The day I broke up with her, I was so happy. Oh my God, I couldn't wait for that day to happen. I was so happy. Most people, they're like, weight on your shoulders. Horrible.
Toxic friends, which actually we have an
Toxic.
episode about toxic friends, right? Remember? Like
Yeah.
on one of the first ones, I think,
Yeah. How to
that we
handle toxic
did.
friends.
Yeah. And it's similar to that. I think because they all cross boundaries. Toxic
Mm-hmm.
people are going to cross boundaries because they're selfish, they're narcissistic, it's all about themselves. So you need to set limits. So kind of like try to like sum up in a way like things that you can do. I'm gonna just give you real quick before we finish here.
Yeah.
Uh, Identify your boundaries and what you consider what is like someone crossing the boundaries. Like number one, communicate your boundaries right away. Let them know I want no texting after 7 p.m. type of a thing. Believe and trust your instincts. You're not if you're feeling uncomfortable with someone, that means something. That means something is off. So trust your instinct. Be around supportive people that actually makes you feel good and that you want to that respect your space. And the last one, be willing to end a relationship if it's causing you pain and
Yeah.
discomfort. Especially if it's like it's been going on for a long time, you can just end the relationship. it can be tough sometimes, but it's for the best of everyone involved, I think, in the end.
Everyone involved.
Everyone, for the best of everyone concerned.
Yes. Well, I don't think I need to add anything. You said it all, girlfriend. Seriously. Yeah. It's so important for your mental health. It's so important. Because at that time I was dealing with those people. I didn't know what to do. I was like, it made me depressed. I didn't know why. I thought it was my fault. I'm like, how come I cannot help them? I need to help them. But they're like,
Yeah.
oh
Like you
my
have to
God, you got
help them.
problems. Yeah.
And you
I'll say
just,
yes to everything.
and you hear all those stories. Like I remember a friend of mine, and you know her, like she called me one time, with health problems.
Oh, yeah.
After that call, and it was right before I was going to bed, it was
Oh.
awful. I'm like, oh my God, I need to do something to, like, I need to meditate. I need to clear my chakras, everything possible, because she was dumping her life problems and her misery on me. Like I can't do anything that I could save her life. It's not. I can't, my friend. I can't save her life. I can't do anything for you other than that. And like the type of people that you give them suggestions when they complain, and you say, "How about this?" "Oh no, 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 I can't do that." "How about this?" Then, "Oh no, 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 it doesn't work." So why are you telling me all this then? Why are you annoying me? If you don't want to hear any suggestion, any criticism, you can handle the criticism, but you want me to listen to your crap? That doesn't work.
Oh crap.
Yeah, no, no. So yeah, just you try to say, make sure you understand read the signs, and set yourself free if you can.
Yeah, so we hope you took some notes of all of this, especially at the end when Silvia gave all the example. Before we go, we have some shout out. I have a shout out for Frauke. Hi, Frauke. I know you're listening. So special shout out for my ex-German colleague from the job we used to work together before, and she told me that she was listening. So I was really, really happy.
I thought you were gonna say ex-boyfriend. I'm like, wow.
What, can you imagine?
No. My German ex-boyfriend.
My ex-boyfriend. Oh my God. No, my German ex-colleague. Okay. And also we want to shout out, of course, California, Canada, United Kingdom, Germany, Australia, Netherlands, and Mexico. Thank you for listening. We really
Costa
appreciate
Rica
it.
as well. Don't forget Costa Rica. Mexico. You said Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. Switzerland is back. Thank you, Switzerland, for listening. And we have some people also in Ireland, Brazil, Italy, Argentina, and so on. So thank you for listening, and we see you next time.
See you next time. See you next time, guys. Bye. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to High Vibes and a Mic. Until next time, laugh hard, stay silly, and never forget to bring your sense of humor. Please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest.